not expecting that thrill to be in that high to be maintained forever.
Yeah, but because also, you're not feeling the initial excitement of it doesn't mean all those positive things that cause you to feel that way are gone.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Raw and Wholesome podcast.
Yes.
We're going to be talking today about transitional points in your life and balancing the highs and lows that you go through, just in general, and but especially when you're going through a transitional point in your life, you get on that high of the excitement, of the anticipation of things changing, and then sometimes you can experience kind of a low when things balance out and you get more grounded in reality, and just kind of like, how do you balance those things? How do you anticipate things balancing back out without feeling depressed and low?
Exactly.
We're going to talk about how she has recently moved to a whole new city, whole new state, from Memphis to Charleston, what her experience has been like. So I'm excited to hear about some of that stuff. But before we get into that, we're going to share a bit of kindness, about a bit of good news that's going on in the world right now. Recently, leopards have been spotted in the western coast of South Africa for the first time in 170 years, which is good news. Apparently, it's a long time. They weren't endangered, but they were a vulnerable species, is how I interpreted it. But it's the result of the work of two different conservation groups. I think it's the Feline Frontier, or what's it called? Landmark leopard. Landmark leopard and predator.
Preservation?
I can find this.
Predator preservation.
I have it in my notes. I tried to remember
Predator
it.
Project.
The Predator Project. That's right. Yeah. Those two conservation groups have been working for the last 20 years to try to improve the wildlife channels and the habitat of the area between Cape Cod and the Burt River. I could have fucked that up. It's not Burt. It's Burt River. The area between Cape Town and the Burt River in South Africa, they've been working on improving the wildlife area, the channels for them to get around, the habitat, and also focusing more on creating more of a wildlife and human coexistence, like just the ability for humans and animals to live alongside each other, as opposed to just protecting the reservation area. But that's great news. Also, the Kafu Park to the north in Nigeria has seen a triple in the amount of leopards in recent times. Kafu Park is 22,700 square feet, which makes it 2.5 times the size of Yellowstone National Park. But
you really put that in perspective. It's huge,
humongous. But all the more reason that the animals should have a space preserved for them there. Exactly. I mean, like, if we don't have, like, I imagine Africa as a massive area for wildlife and animals to be safe, and if they're not protected, if they don't have these spaces to live, then
where else
we're gonna lose them, man. Like, we gotta share this world.
Zoos, or in tiny habitats
anywhere,
where they don't have any room to breathe
between
or roam.
city blocks. But no, that's great. I'm glad for the leopard community. But that's a really good way. We just want to start off the episode on a positive note and share something good that's going on in the world today.
Because it seems like there's not much of that. It seems like, and I mean, that's real news.
We're going to be talking about news and things going on, but we should also talk about the positive things, like things that are going to give us a bit of like hope for humanity and the world and the environment, Like, start off on a positive note.
Exactly.
Like, we're going to try to start off these episodes with an intro, like share a little bit of just a random act of kindness or something that like someone good is doing for somebody else around the world, or something positive that's going on with the environment,
remember the good things, because it can be suffocating and overwhelming to hear about all the negative things that are going on in the world all the time. And while it's not to say that those things aren't important, because they're real, they're true, but it can cause you to
it's not all bad.
Almost desensitized to it, or just feel like the world is caving in on itself, and it's not all bad.
Yeah, we gotta like recognize the good things so that we can like give them energy, like realize that there is hope, But I'm excited to talk about like the fact that you're here in Charleston now after years of talking about it. Like, you've lived in Memphis for, well, we both did our whole lives, but I mean, for the last 5 years I've been here doing my thing. And
I came here at one point and then moved right back like what, a year later?
It wasn't
Less
even
than a year later?
Yeah, well, we went to Charlotte first, and we were in Charlotte, and then we all moved here, and I think
we moved here
around June or so. We moved here January 1st initially.
Wow.
And
okay,
then,
so I was here till June, and then
so 6 months.
hopped right on back to Memphis.
Yep, but I mean, like, understandably so, because like you had unfinished business. I feel like you had ties still to finish up with in Memphis. Like
I did. I got cold feet. I couldn't resist the homesickness and things that were just left
still there,
untied. Yeah.
your friends.
But
yeah.
I mean, a lot went on since then. Should I start with that? Like what?
I guess yeah. Like
a
about
recap of
maybe
a really short recap of what led me to coming here.
Well, yeah, I guess like it is a really big move coming to a whole new city, you know, like changing everything in your life. And
especially when you're
uprooting.
grown and you're settled in and you're starting to have your ways and your own.
Yeah, you've got all the friendships and stuff that you're kind of leaving behind, so you got to tie that up. You got to change jobs, change all of your social connections, everything changes. So, I mean, it makes sense that I think the fact that you were here and you went back because you felt like that wasn't really properly addressed is important, because it kind of symbolizes the fact that, you know, like before you go through a massive transformation in your life, like moving to a whole new city, you have to properly mentally prepare. You can't just
You can't do it on a whim, or else that feeling of being on a high and feeling like it's the greatest decision in the world will crash the same as any impulsive decision.
Right, like it did, I guess, for you, you know?
And even if it may not happen immediately, it will in the future. And that's essentially what happened. It caught up to me that I wasn't necessarily ready. I was 19. Yeah.
I guess so,
I was 19, moved back, found myself in a series of relationships and jobs and moving around a lot. And then I started really growing up. I got my own apartment with a roommate, and then right before that I had reconnected with a childhood or like a high school sweetheart, and then we ended up getting our own house together. And I mean,
you pretty much were like had your foothold firmly established in Memphis, where it's like a lot harder to just break things off and just pick up and leave.
Absolutely, because I mean, you have friendships, whether you've, like, every time that you decide, you can have it in the back of your head that, like, I had it in the back of my head that I wanted to make the decision for so long, because I mean, we would come here every summer, and I've always wanted to live in Charleston. I have car bumper stickers from it. I have old journals that would have manifestations of, I'm going to live in Charleston. I'm going to be there one day. We talked about it
for so long.
For years.
We used to
years
vacation out here as a family and talked about how cool it would be, because like the beach, like, like totally different lifestyle, you know, like, I mean.
And there's so many great sides of it. And I kept coming across obstacles that I would give myself that I don't want to necessarily call them obstacles, because they were great things. Even if some of them they didn't work out, or some of them don't exist anymore. I'm still thankful that they happened and grateful that they happened. Like, I would meet a new person, we would get really close, they'd become my best friend. And
you mean in Memphis or here?
In Memphis.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to leave them, or I reconnected with an old love, and that I'm not going to get into that, but I'm going to forever be grateful that happened, even though it kind of burned at the end. Maybe that's an overstatement or understatement. But I did know in the back of my head that we both knew that wouldn't necessarily work out, because we wanted to go two different places and live in two different states and environments, and
had different goals with life and different personality traits.
And it was difficult as well to leave my house. I mean, I had my own house and all my belongings and my routine, coworkers that I loved, my animals, and to figure out how to save money while accommodating to bills and groceries and whatnot.
And you're talking about like the time period between when you went back to Memphis and but between then and when you came back, like ready to come back.
Yes. Preparing to be ready to come back was, I mean, it felt like a dream. It felt like it wasn't gonna, like, I didn't know when it would happen. If it would happen next month or it would happen 5 years from now.
Yeah, because it's easy to think about.
5 years went by.
Yeah. And a lot happens in 5 years.
In a blink of an eye.
It's easy to think about like something like that you want to happen or a goal like that.
And it remains an idea.
As much as it sounds awesome and you can really be connected to it in your mind it remains an idea that
because reality sets in, and
it's hard to make it happen.
Yeah, because reality sets in, and you have you have to take care of yourself somehow. You have a job that you have to go to daily, so you go, well, I can think about that tomorrow because I have to clock in an hour, or I have to have savings for that, so I have to keep going to work. But every time that I think I have a savings, my tire blows, or I have to pay my insurance, or I have to pay rent, or just, real life.
Life just keeps going.
There's I ran out of dog food,
It's especially, like financial obligations when you're, unless you're just well off or like for whatever reason, it's tough to keep up with like rent, bills, pets if you have pets, like your car issues, like your on like financial obligations on top of your social obligations and your friendships and like your long-term goals. You're just like amidst all of that, still trying to prioritize having time for yourself to not get burnt out, and then on top of all of that, having some massive goal like moving to a new place.
Precisely.
But what was it that changed where you finally started to feel mentally prepared, where like, okay, I need to actually make this happen? Like when did you start to separate from everything feeling like long-term and permanent in Memphis to like feeling like you were tying up those friendships and tying up those connections and ready to transition like that?
I guess I keep trying to avoid going into detail, but the whole point of this is to open up and be raw and wholesome and go into detail.
Well, yeah, it did kind of initiate, I feel like, with your relationship ending,
Yes, so my relationship ended. I had almost a year left on my lease. We no longer lived together. We thought we were going to spend the rest of our lives together. And as one does, I suppose.
Which I've felt that way with about people.
But
it's not crazy,
Well, I have found. I've always wanted to come here. It felt I was willing to not do that for the sake of my relationship, but I still. It didn't remove the want and the longing to be here. It started really setting in when honestly, I felt like I had no other option. Things blew up. I was living alone now. There wasn't a second income in the household to split up rent. And on top of that, the place where I was working suddenly shut down. And I was out of town at this time. So I came back into town, he came and he picked me up from another city 6 hours away and so I came back in town. Didn't have a job, didn't have a second income, and I was just like, man, I need to figure out how to make ends meet.
Yeah, they were on a vacation together, like she was with his family, and they had this big altercation, and that was what ended things ultimately. That's what she's talking about.
Yes.
And she got stranded, basically his family kicked her out of the B&B, like in this other city. So I went and picked her up, and after she went back to Memphis, everything was over, and they were separating. He never came back to the house pretty much, and moving forward, that was where you had to.
Thank you, because I've been going back and forth with, I don't want to call anything out.
It's okay, you don't have to go into all the details.
More like, I don't want any of them to see this and be like, I don't want to call anybody out specifically. It just feels wrong without their consent, But I guess no one's saying names and no one's.
Yeah, and it's not for the sake of pointing fingers or anything. Just it's just generally what happened.
Yeah. But so I came back after all of that, and had to figure out how to make ends meet, and found a job relatively quickly. On New Year's Eve, found a job almost immediately.
That's crazy.
Thank God.
Just within a couple of days.
I was going around, and I didn't want to get out of bed. Every second of every day and night, I was in bed. And if I wasn't getting up and taking care of my animals, I would go back to bed. And then finally I decided I have to get out and go job hunting. And I took everywhere that I went, every time I left the house, I took my dog with me because I could not stand to be separated from him. And
gotta have your pets.
I would take him into restaurants with me and lie and
that's
say,
wild. I didn't know that. That's funny.
Yeah, because I was like, I'm not leaving you in the car, but I'm also, you're coming with me.
Yeah.
And while I was 45 minutes out from where I live, about to go into one of the places that I used to work, I got a phone call from an old coworker. She had no idea what was going on. And she said, hey, do you need, because she worked with me at the place that closed down. She said, hey, are you still looking for a job? Do you need a place? I need someone to work tonight. And I was like,
wow,
I can be there.
She just came out of the blue kind of at the perfect time.
Yes, and she ended up being my best friend. That's Maddie.
Oh, that was Maddie. Yeah. Oh, cool. It's
And
almost like the universe just lines things up for you.
Absolutely.
Like sometimes things are meant to happen and things just line up, you know?
It's wonderful. And when it's happening, you don't expect it. And then you can look back on it and you can go, wow.
The series of events that set in motion.
Yes.
Because you guys became best friends. Like
we don't even talk very often anymore. And I call her my best friend every single time I talk about her.
No, I know you are best friends.
She's the love of my fucking life.
Yeah.
And
it gives you faith though to sometimes when you feel like everything's not really going the way that you'd expect it to or things are working against you, to think that sometimes things are going to play out in a way, everything happens for a reason, it's almost like the universe is going to line things up. Stay true to yourself and what you believe in, and things are going to line up.
Exactly.
And you never know where it's going to come from.
To go on that's kind of, to add on to that, that's kind of the only thing that kept me going, because not necessarily, I guess not backtrack, but I seriously had felt like I lost all hope. It was logical thinking that way at the time. I was like, logically, there's literally no way, it seems, for me to go on, because everything costs money. I have to have money for whatever. I spent all of my money on a freaking hotel room that night, which, and
it's just crazy.
On Christmas night, hotel rooms are expensive last minute. And I had no hope other than feeling delusional and going, well, I kind of have no choice other than to just hope that things work out.
Yeah, just hope that hopefully things will work out.
And I said that so many times, I'd be talking with my mom, and she would, on the phone, she would say to me, Gillian, I just don't know how you're going to do it. I don't know how you're going to make it work. You can't make it work. You're not going to be able to live alone. And I'd be like, don't say that. I have no other option other than to make it work. So
and that determination is huge.
That means that it's going to work. I'd say that to her all the time. And to
I love
myself,
that mentality.
I'd say, since I have no other option, that's my only option. So that must equal that it will work.
I will make it work.
It has to.
It's manifestation.
It is.
Honestly. And it's the faith in yourself, that determination when all odds are against you and you have no choice but to dig yourself out of things. That's huge. That's important. That's an important point.
And sometimes it can be the only thing that keeps you going, and it may feel delusional, but it also might work. And I got that.
And it worked for you though.
It did.
It worked. I mean, you got yourself out of there.
That day, I got, within my first month, on Valentine's Day. And this entire period, I started working. I had coworkers that I had met before, but at my old job that I didn't want to talk too much because I just wanted to keep to myself. I wanted to work and go home. And if I got off at 2 p.m., I would walk in the house, take care of my animals, and get in bed and sleep until I had to work 2 days later at 5 p.m. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see why you wouldn't want to do anything. It's depressing to lose a relationship like that.
And people, I didn't want to hang out with anybody. I didn't want to do anything.
You already have to completely reassess your life as you know it.
Exactly.
On top of all of the circumstances that you're having to deal with now by yourself, the responsibilities, the finances, everything.
And it was also difficult trying to form connections because, most of the time that I was in the relationship, I felt like I wasn't able to have any friendships, any long-lasting friendships, because I felt like I couldn't talk to anybody or hang out with anybody. So I was like, why even bother trying to form any connection if it's not going to last? Because it wasn't necessarily allowed to.
But now,
and then
you could
on Valentine's Day, I was still ahead of checks that would bounce. And I was still struggling. I had pushed back paying my rent so far, almost a month and a half, because I couldn't say it. Thank God they were accommodating. And I had some people come in, and they said that they went around during the month of love, and they would offer any personal service or customer service person the chance to win $1,000. And he said the month of love, he's sharing love, he's giving, and that he normally starts on Valentine's Day. And he said, so at the end of the meal, you're gonna get a chance to roll some D&D die, and if we roll the same number, you only get one chance. If you roll the same number, you have $1,000 cash. And I was laughing at him. I was like, I don't believe you. And he pulled it out and he smacked it on the table. He was like, you don't believe me? End of the meal comes.
That's so wild,
They're about
man.
they pay their
I wish
tab.
that would happen to me. I think about that all the time. I'm like, man, like, how awesome would it be if somebody came in and just gave me $1,000 right now?
They pay their tab, and he was like, all right, you ready? And this was his first time doing it.
Really?
Yes,
that's
because
awesome.
He starts on Valentine's Day.
Oh, for the year, that was his first time doing it. Yeah,
and he does it until someone wins. Everyone only gets one chance to roll. And I rolled it, and he rolled a 5, and then I rolled a 5. And he was like,
that's wild.
What?
I want to, like, high-five you right now, instinctually, like, because that's awesome.
It's awesome. And my belief on that is
I lost the game, by the way.
I lost the game. My belief
crazy.
on that is that I feel like I was rewarded by not just saying I deserve it, but there were hardships that I was being tested by incredibly, and I didn't let it beat me. And I kept taking care of my pets. I was not really taking care of myself, but I just kept being positive and hopeful and trying to move forward. And
staying committed to the things that you had to get done,
exactly.
Like staying locked in.
And just knowing that things were going to work out and believing that it'll be okay, and then it finally did. And I ended up forming relationships, getting really close with Maddie, and I would talk to people here and there, trying to like feel out what it was like to kind of form a close bond again after being out of a relationship.
Because you're getting comfortable for the first time after being in a relationship where you didn't really have the chance to make those friendships. Like,
yes.
You're like finally starting to open up and realize like, hey, like I can have friends, like I can make connections with people that I resonate with on things other than, you know, like I think when you have a relationship, your relationship with that person is kind of built around certain things. Mm-hmm. And so it's almost like you get tunnel vision to where you don't form connections with other people over other things. Like you almost lose touch with aspects of your personality, I feel like sometimes. And then
absolutely
freeing yourself from that relationship, you started to realize like, hey, I can like make all these friends in different ways. I can spend time with people. I don't have to worry about like insulting or intimidating my partner by building connections with other people. Mm-hmm. And like I feel like that kind of started opening yourself up to a lot of development from what it seemed like.
Absolutely. And it was incredibly difficult at first too, trying to remember how to socialize and how to form connections and how to talk to people. And then I just learned to quit thinking about it. And if I feel anxious or I feel weird, there's nothing I can do about it. Like I either tried to hide my actual personality, and that's obvious, and I'm not being myself, and so I'm not fulfilled or happy. And then it's also rude to the other person because you're not showing them your authentic self. You're kind of putting on a mask for them. Or I just learned to be myself, and the rest will filter itself out.
100%.
And that's how for doing that the first time in my life, that's how I found some of the best friendships in the world. And it just goes to show how scary it can be to be yourself, how important it can be, and how it can work out so well. And
yes.
And
that following your instincts, like, you know, like letting yourself, it seems maybe so scary depending on your predicament that you might shut yourself off to being yourself, but like when you just kind of tune those thoughts out and just like follow your instinct, follow your gut, and just be yourself, it's kind of like the same thing with the universe, like helping things line up for you. It's like things kind of just like flow naturally.
They fall into place.
You connect with people that you really resonate with. Like things just kind of start working the way that they should.
Yeah, the universe, it thrives off of having a balance in every aspect. So it will find that if you allow it to. And if you act naturally and you let things be as they should be, things will naturally settle into place. The same as like a house settles.
Trust yourself, trust nature, trust your instincts. Just like let yourself be, let things be, and things will balance out, Don't try to control them. That's like something we were talking about earlier, like the thoughts that come into your head, like you try to predict everything and figure out how you can handle everything the right way. And you just kind of create this anxiety for yourself because, it's not like all these cluttered thoughts, like they aren't there when you're in those flow states where you're confident and you're comfortable, and like you just kind of create this mental clutter, like overthinking everything. And I mean
100%,
you can apply to different things, like just being yourself, like just trusting your instincts, follow your gut, like connect with people in the ways that, like over things that you really believe, over your real values. Like don't be a fake version of yourself, And I mean, I don't mean to get away from the point that you were talking about, but
no,
it seems like that's kind of the path you started going on. And it seems like your life really started to improve in a lot of ways through your friendships and everything, and proving yourself that you can take care of yourself and that you don't need anybody else, the independence,
Exactly. And that's what led me to being able to feel comfortable and confident coming here, because though I would find my best friends and find good routines and a great job that I wanted to stay at, at first it seemed like, oh, I don't want to lose these things. I don't want to let go of these things. I love where I am. But I would still have the thoughts of, but I want to be elsewhere. I want something different, but I don't want to sacrifice or give up these other things. The fact that everything blossomed into being so wholesome and beautiful, it allowed me to acknowledge that because I feel the way that I do about them, about my friendships, about the life that I had, and being able to be independent and having confidence and living alone for honestly the first time in my life, and really just depending on myself, spending that alone time living by myself allowed me to step into who I really am and not worrying about what anybody else thinks, because I mean, honestly, having no other option can be a major assistance. And
and a lot of people don't experience that.
It's
a huge experience.
I'm thankful for it. And
being connected with yourself, your self-dependence and everything.
Yes, exactly. But it allowed me to, because I appreciated them so much, I quit looking at them as something to lose and looked at it as something to motivate me. I mean, people were saying, go where you want to go. Don't let anything hold you back. Like, I'd be happy for you. And then I realized those things aren't going to disappear because of how true they are. They're not going to go anywhere. Like, no matter how much distance or miles or land is between you and whatever else that you love, it's because it's so real and true, it's still going to be there. 100%. And that's how I found the motivation to come here, because I was like, man, why I've spent so long not doing what I want to do and not living up to my full potential. And I've already gone through the worst of it, being scared of and not knowing
how things are going to work out.
How I'm going to get by.
That's why that faith in yourself was really important through that period, I feel like.
Absolutely. Because, I mean, no one's going to step down and save you. You have to do it yourself.
I think that's a big thing, is that just refusal to be, like things are overwhelming, and like you said, your self-care and mental health suffered, but at the same time, as much as you did feel depression and like sad and overwhelmed in that period, you didn't give up on the determination to stay focused on the things that you can do to keep yourself driving forward, like just refusing to accept the reality of like not building things back up and fixing things,
Absolutely.
That determination is important for somebody in that circumstance, I feel like.
Absolutely, because the hatred of the situation that you're in and how negative it feels, it drives you to want to make it your enemy. Like, instead of wallow in it, not wallowing in it, because it's incredibly difficult to overcome those things, and it can get the best of you and beat you. It's really difficult to overcome things like that. But I made it my enemy. I was like, if this is already happening, I'm not gonna let it keep happening. I'm gonna fix it.
It's a strong attitude.
And
yeah. And it worked.
It worked.
You know, and I
didn't think it was going to. I really didn't the whole time. I just was like, it better.
But it did,
because I don't know what else I'm gonna do.
And I think that like when everything started kind of coming back together for you, and like you talked about like your friends, like the friendships that you started making, how things started kind of like coming into alignment. And when you started to realize that like your friendships are still going to be there, like because they're so meaningful, I think it's important to just recognize that like you can feel that way because the things that you're acquiring in your life, like the friendships you're developing and the things that are coming into place for you, are there for authentic reasons, because they're created through authentic interactions of you being yourself. Like you're being true to yourself, you're having these connections with people, and so you know they're going to always be there because those values that you're basing those friendships and connections and choices on are going to be consistent with you, you know, like as opposed to if you were to be some fake version of yourself or some shallow version of yourself that you're portraying to people for the sake of creating a friendship. Those sorts of things do fall apart because they're not true to who you are. You're going to change. You're going to let those things go. And I think that just illustrates all the more reason to like have faith in yourself for one, and to try to be in tune with your personal values and the things that are important to you, and value yourself. Like I mean, this whole situation taught you, you know, like moving on from that relationship, I think a big thing that you gained from that was learning to value yourself and care about yourself, and to tune in to your own personal needs and to make choices and friendships that satisfy your own needs and your own personal development. 100%. And it just goes to show how much you flourished and how much that started to guide you and pull everything into place, it seems like, you know? Yeah,
that's a perfect way of explaining it. And with how scary that it can be, seeing it work out in positive ways and positive lights just makes you curious. It opens doors to being curious to what other good things can
like
bring.
what kind of other potential do I have?
It makes you feel, the moment that I realized that, I think I literally envisioned in my head having wings like a bird. Like I felt such a huge relief off my chest and in the air around me, where it felt like something completely lifted, where I could breathe and I felt like I could do anything.
Yeah. And probably the suppression that you probably put on yourself before that, you know, like all these mental blocks, like, and
because then you realize nothing is making you do, nothing is actively now there are tons of reasons, but nothing is.
There are circumstances you deal with. Yeah, but you're a lot of times your own worst enemy. Like you put these mental blocks on yourself. Like, and when you realize finally that like there's so much more I could be doing, there's so many different ways I could be looking at things, there's so much I can do with my life that I'm just not looking at, you know, like, and when you start to feel that weight come off, like you said, like wings spreading, like that's such an empowering feeling, because like you're like, wow, like I have so much potential, like I have so much power in who I am, my determination, like everything, you know, like, so that's a really cool point. And it carried you through like this whole past year that you would think would have been horrible. I mean, like it sounds like from talking to you, like you've made some of the best friendships, like you've had some really awesome experiences. You had a whole going away party for yourself that had so many friends. Like, I mean, like that's awesome,
during
man.
all
like,
of this,
you're
I had
thriving.
thoughts like,
I
didn't think anyone was gonna show up. Everyone showed up, and
People love you. You're awesome.
Being constantly surprised by these positive turnouts, and so that just goes to show it's not going to nothing is a magic switch to delete the negative thoughts and the second guessing, but
that's a good point.
You have to allow yourself to be proven wrong in a sense, or be shown that things can work out better. And
don't expect things to be perfect, but have faith that things will go well.
Exactly, you know, or that they can, because not everything will, you know. And
but don't it's not a complete utter failure if something doesn't go right. You know, like think about the overall trajectory.
Yeah, it's not like you got hit with a cannonball, like, and it may feel that way, but
overall though,
not everything is perfectly level,
and that's okay.
You're gonna have ups, you're gonna have downs, and you just have to acknowledge, like, don't completely think, oh, well, it'll be fine. if you're down or if something crazy happens, because that's relatively, I mean, that's impossible. Like you kind of, I don't know, you have to shut off
good to remember that everything will be fine, but like,
if you just don't acknowledge that you feel hurt or things are difficult.
Acknowledge the bad things, like accept it, because like the reality is you can't control everything. Like it's life. Like things are gonna happen. Everything is not under your control. But I mean, you have some degree of control, and
you can control your mindset, and it's really difficult a lot of the time. It's one of the most difficult. It's one
of the hardest things.
I mean, even this morning, and it's a simple stop, cat.
He's fine.
A simple example is I wake up this morning. I wake up most mornings, and it's really.
In fact, every morning I wake up.
It's really
Come to think of it.
When I'm tired and feeling down, and my eyes are heavy. I feel sad and down and depressed, and I don't want to get up. I don't want to do anything. And I forgot
some
my point.
Motivation,
but
like
it's
the
difficult.
mindset, how your mindset can be the hardest part.
When you feel that way, you're actively feeling how you feel.
You're having to overcome your lack of motivation.
Yeah,
like,
there's
your mind sitting there saying, I want to keep laying in bed, I don't want to do anything, this is where I want to be. And like at the same time, you know that once you get up.
There's not a single part of you that can tell you, I want to get up right now.
Yeah.
Because you don't.
You have to create this whole other dimension where you're like, I know that once I'm up, I'm going to wish I got up sooner. I'm going to know that there's things I want to be doing.
And it feels so
I just
delusional.
can't touch in with them right now.
Fake. You don't feel it. You're not tapped into it, and you just have to
use that conscious awareness
yourself.
to mental tricks, and or like, I mean, it's important.
You literally have to trick yourself sometimes, and then afterwards, if the trick works.
But that's huge. I mean, that's right though. It's like, I mean, like life is hard. Like there's a lot of difficult things, and like some things are really, really difficult to deal with. I mean, like I'm not trying to like equate, like say everything is manageable, but like at the end of the day, having that control over your mindset and practicing those kind of techniques to get your mind in the place that it needs to be to overcome certain obstacles and overcome certain challenges, that can be such an invaluable thing because it is hard. Like you said, it's one of the hardest things to overcome your mindset or your emotions or like the balance between everything. Like when it seems like all of the negative things going on or the difficult circumstances or your negative emotions are predominantly overwhelming your mind at certain times. Like
and a big part of it is sitting with it.
You enter these periods of depression or feeling overwhelmed, and the one channel that you can use to get yourself out of it is to start to like look at things the right way, like kind of juggle like how you can handle and overcome these things and work with yourself mentally to like work through those things. Obviously that's like a whole different discussion, you know, depending on what it is, but you're right, like your mindset is everything.
It is. But that is
I kind of just went into a ramble right there.
You're great.
Kind of out of touch.
It's perfectly in touch. You're great at I will say something by telling like I'm so bad at it. I hate it so much. But I will try to explain a point by telling a personal story and
it's great.
And hope the point is grasped.
Hope it lands. I'm about to tell you a story about my childhood. Hopefully I remember what the point was.
And he will wrap it up and be like, okay, so this is what you're trying to say. This is what you mean. And
I think it's great, though.
Put it into terms and explanations. And
I think it's great, though. Like you're conveying the first person view of like your experience and your emotion. And it's great. It's helpful for me or anyone listening to you because like it shows your experience, like you're communicating your experience through that in like a way that's easy to understand and relate to, you know, like, and but no, like with what you were saying about like how, you know, things started to kind of come together, you started to make friendships and like you like what I think it was like during that time that like you had also like I know that we like our family have been mentioning it to you on and off for a long time that there are other reasons to leave Memphis, like the terrible experiences that you had with some random people, like various people that were just toxic people like around in your life, and like the safety
sometimes
issues
trying
kind
out
of
new relationships do not work.
Yeah, like some people are like kind of crazy, but but like also like just the safety, like crime kind of in your area, like some close calls that you'd had with some like experiences where you almost got into some scary situations.
I mean, my house got broken into, and I actively chased them out of my house.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Butt naked.
That's wild.
And
hey, I'm glad you stood your ground.
My door frame was broken, so my door wouldn't stay closed unless it was locked. So I was like,
yeah, she was living in a house where like it was like kind of in the hood, like, but like also just like her door wouldn't stay closed, so she had to prop up one of those like door stoppers like every time she went in the house to make sure that nobody could just break into her house.
And
and you had a snake infestation in your yard, like, so there were snakes everywhere.
I FaceTimed you.
Oh my God, the craziest thing happened one time.
It was so bad.
She FaceTimed me.
I'm pretty sure that it was our cystic ball python. I'm almost positive.
It might have been. I don't know.
Almost positive.
So for one, they had a whole like pet store in their house, like with different like snakes, lizards, a Gila monster. It was a Gila monster, right?
It's a tegu.
A tegu, yeah. Same thing, man. Whatever. But like they had a ball python get loose in the house and like just randomly appear at different times. And like
also like 6 months prior.
Yeah, and then, so she FaceTimes me one day and like she's like freaking out and she's like, "There's a snake in the air conditioning unit." Like, and I was like, I thought that she was like,
it was on
she was in
top
the
of it at
bathroom
the time.
getting ready for work. I thought that it was like coming out of the wall in the house, but like I heard this like this crazy slapping noise, and she showed me out the window.
And luckily, the picking up the spinning of the fans, it slowed down. The camera couldn't keep up with it. So
I forgot about that. Yeah,
slowed down.
Yeah,
and so at first, when I looked out, I heard banging outside the window because the AC unit was outside the bathroom window, and I heard banging, and I looked out and I saw that there was a snake whose
had slithered up on top
or bottom half. Yeah, it was on the railings covering the AC unit.
That big AC unit outside with the fan blades spinning on the inside.
People will steal them, and so it was on top of it, and it was one side was hanging down into the fan. It was getting hit, and it was going doom doom doom. And as soon as I FaceTimed him, I showed him it fell completely into the AC unit,
and it was just bouncing around. So it was gruesome.
It was so bad.
But because the frame rate of the camera on her phone was like synced up with the speed of the blades spinning, I guess, it looked like the blades were spinning so slowly, but this snake was flying around violently.
I was
like, what is going on? Like, I was like, how? It's moving. The blades looked like they were moving so slowly. Like, it's kind of like when you look like if you look at a helicopter on certain camera frames per second, like it looks like the helicopter's just levitating. But yeah, it's
so bad.
But that was wild. Anyway, you had so many reasons to come here, and eventually, because you followed your trajectory, you had perseverance, everything started aligning, and you felt prepared to come here.
And I had been telling my family and everyone that I was going to move for so long, and they didn't believe me.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't believe me until I was actively on the way here.
Was it just that because we talked about it so often.
And I'd be like, I'm saving money, this is the day that I'm leaving, and they'd be
I think they kind of gave up on you coming here. We didn't believe you.
Because I talked about it for so long. Yeah, no, not at all.
But was it a situation?
I completely understand why.
Was it like a situation where for a long time you had wanted to come here and you had it on the back of your mind, but like there were just other things in the way, and like what happened, like even though you started to pull your life together, like why was it that you decided to come to Charleston?
Well, there were multiple reasons. I mean, one huge reason is my lease was ending, and I didn't want to renew the lease. I didn't want to stay in the same house that I shared with someone that still their name and memory still haunts me, and probably will for years and years.
Y'all's life together was probably still all around you.
Everywhere I turn is something to remind me of the lack thereof, you know. And then I didn't want to like live in the house for that reason, for the reason that we had a bug problem that was completely unfixable.
Screw that.
Didn't want like all kinds of stuff that had to do with the house itself. And then also, I wanted to be able to start a new life here. I feel like there's so many more opportunities to move up in life, and so many more things to see and do. And not just for the aspect of fun, but for, I mean, people say, they love the beach. I love the beach. I've always loved the beach. But I also, more specifically, I love being alone, and I love being able to just be somewhere and specifically on the water and just zone out and stare into the distance and know that that water doesn't stop for hundreds
of feet,
thousands of miles,
20 football fields at least,
another continent. Like, that's amazing. It feels existential. It reminds you that you're on a floating rock. And it really just puts you back in the place that you're supposed to be in, that you forget about.
The fact that all the stuff we're worried about doesn't really matter that much.
Yeah, not at all.
It's
it only matters
this
because
is
we
nature.
Make it matter.
Like, we can't control this. This happens to be here.
And
it's
wonderful.
amazing.
The ocean is a evil, terrible,
majestic,
beautiful thing. It tips over the Titanic.
You're trying to like really send a message, but I can't find the words. It devours ships. It sends people across from one country to the other.
It's amazing. I love it, and I just like. There's so many unmanicured places to go here, and I don't know, but I want it to be close to family. It's difficult being somewhere where I feel like there's no real support system besides my chosen family, my best
you were
friends.
Away from everybody.
It was difficult. Like, the people that I knew genuinely supported me and showed genuine care and love and interest in me as a person, as their daughter or sister or granddaughter. They were hundreds of miles away, and
It's hard being so far away. And I think, honestly, like, I didn't really think about this before, but I know a big thing was, for a long time, I just missed you. Like, I missed being able to hang out with you. And like, there would be things going on, like a friend that I made that I wanted you to meet, or like somebody that I was talking to that I wanted you to meet, or like a music show, or like a festival or something that I was going to do, or like a friend's band I was going to see, and like talking to you about it and just thinking like, man, it would be so cool if you were here, that like you could come with me, like meet this friend, like hang out, and can't share it with you, and then vice versa, like hearing about your experiences and like, or like
thinking about the fact that it's been that way for years and will be until someone makes a decision to move, and the only option is me. Yeah. And I want to do that anyway. And it's like,
especially talking about like, new people. Like, I mean, like, we were both all familiar with Memphis forever. I mean, it's like, hey, there's like new things to do here. There's like these people that you could meet. There's like this stuff that happens at the beach, or these places to hang out. That'd be so cool for you to be able to take part in and discover too. Like, I just think that, like, especially like here in Charleston, like there were so many new opportunities for just fulfillment out of life, and like activities and things that we could do that I experienced that like you just didn't have back in Memphis, and like I wanted you to experience those things, and I would tell you about them. And I think that like you like talked about like wanting to be here and share those things, and wanting to come like have a clean slate and start things new and stuff, you know.
That too. I'm a clean slate.
That's what it felt like for me when I came here. It's like a whole new grounds to like build your life up.
Yeah, and it's
make
like
new
once
connections,
I have the experience,
drop all the old energy from bad experiences in the past, you know.
And I didn't want to come here beforehand. I didn't want it to feel like I was running away and I had no choice. I wanted it to feel like
that's healthy. That's smart.
I'm capable of living on my own. I'm capable of dealing with struggles. I'm making the decision for myself because I want to change my life and my environment and give myself a clean slate, not to make things easier, but because it's just a choice and it's what I want to do.
Right. And that's healthy. I think that's the most solid mindset that you could have about it. Like, to go into it like out of your own choice, your own volition.
Because I easily could have ran away and came here
responsibly
sooner.
Like making a wise, solid decision for your own reasons, and like not out of necessity or anything. And that I feel like that creates such a more stable transition, you know. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think one good thing to talk about is the fact that, you know, like what we mentioned before, like the highs and lows that kind of come with the transition, like making that move. And like all the excitement and everything, because we talked about it for months coming up to, like, we talked about how, like, I mean, I wanted to start a YouTube channel and make videos, and we talked about doing this podcast. We talked about like like going out and flying the drone, like all sorts of stuff that we can do once you're here, like our dogs being able to be best friends, like all this stuff. There were so many things that we were excited about, like that you were probably excited about, like coming here. And it's really easy when you experience the thrill and the high of that excitement, like the anticipation coming into something big like that, whether it's like moving or a new relationship or like getting a dog, anything, you know, like all this excitement. And then once it actually happens, you know, like, and it settles in for a minute and things start to balance out, I think a lot of people can sometimes experience a bit of a low, like as it rebounds and things balance out,
Definitely.
like almost to where you start to become sad or depressed, even like, no matter what it is, even though there's nothing going on necessarily that's bad, but just because you're coming down from that high of all the excitement.
The comparison of
like,
it's the same as having
the
a sugar rush.
Adrenaline rush, the dopamine rush,
crash
yeah.
because in comparison, a high to even what could be a
mellows
normal
out.
ground, it can feel like a low.
And
Especially
you're like,
when it
okay.
is an actual low, it feels like you're 6 feet deep.
You're like, life is still just life, you know, like I have this great new thing, but, and I think that like something that we can do to kind of like handle and moderate that when you're, when you think about trying to balance the highs and lows in life is when you are on that high, you know, when things are still exciting, is keeping in mind, like maintaining an awareness of the fact that things are going to mellow out, so that, you know, like as you have that awareness, as things kind of level out, you can stay grounded and you can kind of recognize that dynamic that's going on, and you don't have to necessarily feel sad or depressed, like, and not know why. If you can maintain that awareness moving forward, like, hey, this is really exciting, this is happening right now, but soon things are gonna level and mellow out. I'm gonna go back into my life moving forward. How can I stay focused on maintaining like a sustainable mentality? Like how can, like I can appreciate the things that are happening, the changes that I'm experiencing right now, but also adjust to life moving forward, like as like accepting those changes,
yeah,
but working them into my life and still maintaining some level of things to be appreciative of, like the positive things, like the other goals moving forward. Now that this excitement is dying out, like instead of going low, like think about, okay, what's the next goal looking forward? Like what other things do I have to pay attention to? What are the next steps look like? You know, like.
And not to say that it's just, you just stay positive through it, but just even like whenever you do feel low and you feel that you're mellowing out, acknowledge it and know that
like I still have things to be grateful for. It was
bound to come, and you knew that things were going to mellow out eventually, and having,
it's like the thrill is gone. Like the thrill is gone.
A somber mindset and low feelings doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. It can just be how you feel.
I think,
if that makes any sense. Does that make any sense? Like it doesn't have to be, you don't have to view it negatively. Like if I wake up and I just feel, if I wake up during the day and I just feel down that day and I feel like things are going wrong or things might go wrong or I'm having negative thoughts, I tend to just acknowledge that I'm having those thoughts and that this is how I feel, and you don't try and fight it. You just kind of, it's the same as like you just step back and you just kind of watch it happen. Maybe that's dissociating.
Well, that is a little bit sounds like dissociating. But now that you mention it, but.
Okay.
But I mean, I think a way to I think that like when you feel down after that period of excitement,
the more
you feel down in comparison to how you felt recently.
That's what I'm saying.
But like a lot of people, like it's easy to like if you don't really think about it, it's easy for it to feel like, oh wow, like I kind of feel depressed now. I kind of feel down. Like if you're not thinking about it, but like maintaining that kind of awareness that it's really just that the thrill is over. But like being able to remind yourself like, hey, I've still got these things to be like, this thrill's dying out, like I'm mellowing out, but like I'm also appreciative for this new thing, whatever it is, these things that happen.
It doesn't just
I'm
make
appreciative.
all the other things.
What does my life look like moving forward? Yeah, like the thrill is over, but like what does my life look like now moving forward? And like what does it look like now? What's the next step? You know, like not expecting that thrill to be in that high to be maintained forever.
Yeah, but because also, you're not feeling the initial excitement of it doesn't mean all those positive things that cause you to feel that way are gone.
Yeah.
They're still there, and you can still be grateful for them and still find motivation in them. But just...
I think it's just that level of mental awareness. And I think that it's just important to talk about, really, because you were talking about how, you know, like this past week or so, you know, so you've been here for a month now, and you were talking about how the last week or so you felt kind of a lack of motivation and kind of like assessing everything that's going on around you. Like now that you have a job, like you're kind of starting to settle in, like starting to meet people, starting to become familiar with like getting around the city. And there's like a level of like normalcy with things kind of leveling out. And it sounded like you were kind of experiencing almost like a bit of a low, kind of rebounding from the high of coming here.
And that's a big part of what it was. And there are multiple reasons that I felt that way, and multiple things that I've thought to myself to remind myself that to keep that awareness, that and to still look at things in a positive light. Like, I settled in. I realized that I'm here now. The excitement kind of dwindled out. I did start missing my friends and missing Memphis, and like in comparison to the environment and whatnot here, I started looking at the good sides of Memphis that I never acknowledged while I was there, and
it's
reminiscing
easier to do
on
from
them.
a distance.
Exactly. And
you never know what you got till it's gone.
Exactly. And
here, let
sad
me
face.
Sorry, I just wanted to like point that more towards your face a little bit, just to be safe, just so that.
But and I knew that was bound to happen, and I knew that before I even moved, I was like, well, that's gonna suck, but that's gonna happen anyway. It's inevitable. Yeah. And so it finally hit, and I was aware of the fact that it hit, and I was just sitting with it and waiting for it to fade. And I would realize while I was driving around, like I finally learned my ways around, my directions, like I can get to and from work without using directions. And I wouldn't think anything of it, and then I would be driving and like the sunlight would hit me, and I'd remind myself, I'm driving on the road, on a road without using my directions to go to work in Charleston, and 2 months ago I couldn't wait, and I would I would be feeling so down and so sad and so anxious that day, and then I'd think about that, and I'm like, what am I doing being negative? Like, be happy to be here. And then another aspect of it was simple, just like living out far away, and either being inside or being at work. And just like
being in Somerville.
Yeah, and just the environment.
Yeah, it's a hike. It's 30, 40 minutes out of the city. So
and it's sense. Just a little that sucks moment. But then also I started talking to someone who I really enjoyed talking to. And
True.
A big part of that is I was definitely on the high of us finally meeting in person and getting
that lined up right
out.
with you coming here too.
It did. So it really
that exacerbated things,
yes.
kind of. Yeah.
And so both the excitement and the high from initially moving here, settling down, and then also something else hitting, where we were hanging out and he would be so beyond sweet and nice to me that it started bringing up a lot of insecurities that I thought that I was starting to overcome by learning to be alone and be by myself, which it was proven to me that clearly I haven't completely overcome. Feeling like I don't necessarily deserve. It feels so weird talking about myself so much. I don't necessarily deserve to be told all these nice things and be treated this way and be thought about in these ways, to the point that it would make me feel like you're lying to me, or you want something from me, or you're being manipulative, or you're love bombing me, or whatever. I'd have all these thoughts to where we would be doing stuff and he'd praise me or even just be sweet to me out in public. And I'd be like, I finally one day was like, can we tone that down? It makes me really anxious. And he was understanding about it.
Which is
to my
awesome.
surprise and also not
be.
surprise. Because, and even that threw me off. I'm like, I'm not used to this.
Yeah.
And even though in a normal perspective, probably I should look at it for just what it is and what he's showing me and just believe it. All of this, it just made me like so anxious, and then I realized I had some more work to focus on within myself of being like where those feelings come from and why I don't feel comfortable accepting positive reinforcement and for someone viewing me in a good light, and why I see it negatively or as a jump scare almost. And so I separated myself from him and backed up a little bit, and that caused me, along with the crash from moving here initially, and which isn't really a crash, it's just getting back into normal,
just things balancing
feeling
out,
normal.
kind of like things settling in normal
It made
life.
it feel like I was plummeting into the depths of hell.
Because like you had a connection with somebody and it's like all of a sudden you don't have that attachment anymore.
And I'm like, am I self-sabotaging? And it's not just one or the other. Multiple things can be true at once. In some ways, I'm definitely self-sabotaging. In some ways, I'm making the good executive decision to positive. Apparently, it's just my word of the night. I keep.
It's a great word.
It's a fantastic word.
It's a positive word.
It's a positive word. Yes. I was making the executive decision that's probably good, a good conscious decision to make.
To end it?
To step back and analyze things and not jump into something and analyze whether you are jumping into something or things are happening naturally and normally the way that they should, until if that is the case, to allow it to happen instead of try and fight it and self-sabotage and just all kinds of stuff.
Well, I would say
anyway,
how I would look at that is that I think, they're, like you talked about how his being sweet to you and being kind and like considerate and like doing a lot of things that like a healthy partner should be doing, like in a healthy relationship, the way that it gave you anxiety and triggered maybe insecurities, like I think that is sort of it kind of signals that, like the relationships that you were used to, or one major relationship, I guess, like that you were really used to in the past, where you developed your relationship tendencies, like what you expect from the other person and like the mental habits like that you expect, like you still haven't completely adjusted from that toxic, unhealthy environment to a healthy mentality. Because it's like if you're with somebody, a partner can be loving and respectful to you and do all these healthy things, but if you're not, even if you're not necessarily being toxic, like if your mindset is adjusted to an unhealthy attachment style or an unhealthy relationship style, then you're not ready to accept those things and meet that person there. Like you have to also genuinely be in a healthy mindset and a healthy place yourself, to be able to be your half of the relationship, and like, so like, I think it just shows that it is important to really take that time to go through personal development and self-care and work on yourself in the ways that you need to be that healthy person that's ready for a healthy relationship before you put yourself out there and before you're ready to accept it, even, because like you have to really be prepared to be present, to feel confident in yourself, to feel like you deserve those sorts of positive, healthy treatments from the other person. Like otherwise those negative like mental habits or self-sabotaging or self-doubt, like those things can kind of like deteriorate and just like weaken the strength of the bond and the relationship that you're able to develop in the first place. So it's good that you have that self-awareness to step back and recognize that you still need to help get yourself to that point better.
Exactly. And you have to be able to give yourself grace and allow yourself to receive good things that you, while also being able to hold yourself accountable for your own toxic traits. And I mean, those can be things that you actively should not be doing, things that you do wrong, or ways that you've acted in the past that you don't want to repeat, or also ways like things that you don't necessarily intend on doing that are like not being able to accept love or accept affection and whatnot. And that's both not fair to you and also not fair to the other person. Because then you're like, you have this, it's like having a string with something attached to it, and
they just can't
you're
reach.
Pulling it, and they're trying to show you they love you and give you reassurance, but they can't quite catch up to you, and they can try and try and try. And it's when it just still doesn't work, then you're just draining them, and you may not necessarily intend.
All right, we're back. We lost camera battery and we got cut off, but we were talking about how, you know, like you were saying that when you're in a relationship you're not ready for, it's not fair to the other person because you're kind of like stringing them along and they're trying to be good to you and all these things. But it's like, if you don't have that
they can't
self-confidence, like in everything, like it's almost like they're trying to get your affection, like, and you're not able to return like being there with them. Right.
You're not able to return it nor receive it. And it can become draining to the other party.
Right.
And you can't expect them to keep on trying until you're fixed, because ultimately, whatever you need to gain, you're not going to receive from them. Whatever you need to find in yourself, you're not going to receive from them. Because, I mean, imagine if that were the case, then once they're gone, you're going to be right back to square one, like you have to do yourself.
Yeah, so, that's a huge thing. Like you're I think a lot of times, like, people need to realize when you go into a relationship that a lot of people maybe look for the person that you're with to fix you or to solve your issues, and like I've got these issues. I do that. I've done that. Like a lot of people do that. It's almost like natural. It takes a level of self-awareness to grow out of that. But like thinking like, oh, I have these problems with myself. Like I need self-reassurance. I need self-love. All of these things. And then being with somebody is going to fix that because they'll give it to me. They'll like balance me out. But then the reality is
they'll prove to me that I'm worth loving or whatever, and it's like
no, you have to be content and healthy on your own, and like that relationship, that's not gonna fix you. You know, it might in the moment initially seem that way, but eventually those things are gonna come up and it's gonna break your relationship apart from the inside, and you're inevitably gonna have to take that time to work on yourself.
And you're just prolonging the internal growth.
Yeah, you should
need to thrive.
It will suffer. Like you, at the end of the day, you don't like a relationship shouldn't be looked at as you need somebody to be okay. You know, like you should be self-sufficient.
It's two holes make a bigger hole.
Yeah, exactly. Hey,
there's a joke there.
Not two halves make a hole, but two holes make a bigger hole. I like that. That's a good. What would it be called? That's a good quip.
Good quip.
But it's like you shouldn't be, you have to be sufficient on your own. And it's like a relationship with somebody else that should supplement your life. It should make it better. But like.
Mad with the quill.
Is it called an axiom? An idiom? I don't know. A motif? It's not a motif. A motif is when something like repeats, like I don't know. But it's a good, wise word of wisdom. Word of speech. A wise words of wisdom. But no, that's a good thing for you to realize, I think, and for you to step back from that, like I mean, it wasn't a relationship really, like I mean, but y'all were talking, and I know that you liked him and stuff, but like it's wise of you to have that awareness. Together. I'm talking about the person you talked about here. I'm not talking about your multi-year relationship. I'm talking about the guy that you were talking to once you came here, and then you stepped back a little bit.
But that's the thing is,
that was
I knew
wise
that I wasn't
self-awareness.
looking for anything, and it's just like I wasn't necessarily like searching for anything in him. I thought that I was good and I was healing, and then I realized, why would I think that? It's been less than a year.
Right.
And things don't happen that
quickly.
quickly.
I've gone through that so many times, man. Like I mean, I have committed after the long-term relationships that I've been in. There's so much about myself that I learned through that. I mean, like you go through a breakup, like there's issues that are in your relationship. you go through a breakup and you learn so much about yourself through reflecting on that, like reflecting on what went wrong on both sides and why it didn't work out. You learn so much about yourself through that relationship. So as much as it seems like a loss, like you go through so much growth, like it propels you afterwards, the amount of growth that you can see in yourself if you take the time to focus on those things. And that's what's important to do, as opposed to bouncing right back into another relationship. I think when you do that,
just a thing to fill
you're
some
looking
sort of
for
void.
instant gratification. And it's like, and it's tough though. I mean, like I've multiple times in the time since I made a commitment after my last long-term relationship, or I've been in a couple of long-term relationships over the last several years, but like I made a commitment to myself that I was gonna stay focused on myself, not try to get back into a relationship until I'm truly ready, and to stay focused on myself. But it is so easy, like as you're just doing that,
into it,
you start, especially like you start making connections with people based on being true to yourself, like you said earlier. But that happens with people. You meet people that you vibe with, that you think you might be able to explore a relationship with. And I've caught myself like starting to talk to somebody and get interested, and then draw back and realize like, hey, I'm not ready for this. Like I actually do need to continue working on myself. And I mean, like there's lots of reasons, like you were talking about, being mentally prepared and healthy. And then also, like one thing for me, like I know that I have a tendency to kind of put my own personal needs on the back burner, and just kind of overly like focus on the relationship and that person, and then my needs and my desires and goals and stuff end up suffering because I forget about them. And then like it's like I could be totally invested in my fitness goals, like my productivity goals, like long-term goals, like career goals, and be spending all this time doing that. But then as soon as I get into a relationship, I stop. Like I'll start thinking I don't need to spend time doing this, like because I want to spend this time with this person. All I'll care about is like that relationship encompasses everything.
And it's not necessarily something they're doing or not doing that's causing you to do that. It's you. Like I was doing that with somebody, and I got close with somebody, and I was like, hey, we need to step back because I'm realizing that X, Y, and Z, what he just explained, is happening. And I need to stay focused on myself. And they didn't understand. They were like, well, why can't you do the same thing? Like, I want to encourage you to be focused and do your own thing. And I'm like, well, it's not something that you can do. It's something that I can't keep myself from. It's a focus thing. Like, I just will give my all and lose focus of myself. And it also, a big part as well of what you were saying, to add on to what you were saying, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you didn't. Sorry, just spit everywhere. I'm listening to you. Keep going.
You barked.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm just hyper, I'm engaged. I'm listening. Keep going.
A big part of what you were saying a second ago is that
those chicken wraps charged me up.
I know, me too.
We took a break to eat. We both had headaches. We were so hungry. The battery died. We had to clear the memory card.
Our battery died.
We ate some food, and now we're fucking ready to go for another hour.
Yep.
Probably not going for another hour, but.
But we. It's something that makes it easy to fall into a relationship too, is like you're looking for that instant gratification and something to fill some sort of void, but also you find yourself forming a I lost my train of thought.
What was that?
A connection with someone. I keep needing to cough. You find yourself forming a connection with someone, and you just get closer and closer, and it kind of naturally falls into a relationship to where you're like, I want more from the person. I can see a relationship forming, and then then it fades away, not because you lose attraction to that person, or because it was like a hyperfixation or something, or they're disposable and you're just moving on past them. It's more like you realize, oh, it's really just because I crave connection and a relationship with someone. It's like I misperceive it as feelings and wanting a relationship, but really it's just I want this aspect in general.
The connection.
I want the connection and the closeness in general.
It's really appealing when you haven't been with somebody for a long time, when you've taken a hiatus of being in a relationship, and then you're like, oh my God, I forgot how nice it is being close with somebody, and like all this.
Or you don't have people that you really open up to, or like outlets to share, people to connect with.
The connection.
You are more of like a loner, keep to yourself type person. Then it becomes so appealing when you find someone. And it feels like, oh, we're building a relationship. It's the same as like freaking middle schoolers that just date everyone.
Suddenly you have somebody to connect with, like over all these things. Especially in the sense of like what you said about earlier with, you know, like when you are finally focusing on yourself and your trajectory, and then you're meeting people based on like true values that you have on the inside that are reflective of things you really care about, your own passions and goals. And when you meet somebody that you connect with over those passions and goals, and it's instinctual, you're like, oh my God, like all of a sudden you're meeting people that like, prior, your ex that you were with, like you thought you had all of these things that you'll never find again, but suddenly you're meeting someone that you see relationship potential with in things that like you never connected with with somebody
grab
over,
onto it
and you're like,
so
wow,
excited.
oh my God, like I can have this in common with somebody and actually have feelings for each other. And the thing is like that it's like that very well could turn into a healthy, fulfilling relationship. It's difficult though to be able to realize and question like, am I ready for that? Especially because of the fact that, like we were saying, it can trigger you to put on pause all of the forward momentum you have. Like for me right now, I guess for you probably too, like I know like I have so many things that I want to see get done like in my life. Like I'm not satisfied and happy with where my life's at right now. I've got things that I want to see that I can't like do right now that I want to achieve, and like it's not gonna happen unless I dial in, like you said earlier, and just have faith that it will happen, that I like will not accept anything less than my goals. And that forward momentum takes your consistent energy and focus, and you know a relationship can easily break that up and make it hard to focus on. And it's almost like making that sacrifice of like deciding not to settle down in the sense of like getting off the train of like moving forward, self-work, self-growth, personal goals.
And it can be difficult
until you finally meet, like when you're there and you've achieved it all, and then you can meet somebody that's got the same goals, and then y'all can be on that train together, and you're not sacrificing your future goals and everything.
Exactly. You know? And it can be difficult too when you come across somebody that you're like, man, we get along so well. Like you seem like the perfect person. I don't want to like miss out the like FOMO that you get almost.
It's true.
Meeting someone and being like, I'm not ready for you, but and they want something more with you, and you're like, you don't expect them to wait around for you or anything.
Yeah. That's
obviously,
true.
but it's like something you have to sacrifice. And if something is true, then it will come back to you, and it'll be there. So you just
trusting that the universe will align things, like we were saying earlier.
But it's not everything is about relationships. That's kind of like a good example to use, or something to focus on as a centerpiece to really represent moving forward and how to stay focused, and
the things pulling you in different directions, and how different things it could be anything, like with the highs and the lows of that transition of moving here, the excitement, and how the added excitement of talking to somebody, being connected with somebody, like you have that like thrill of like, oh, I get to share this with this person, I'm exploring all these new things with this new person, that's exciting, and it exacerbates what you're already feeling through moving here. And then to step back from that, like also probably exacerbated the low or sinking feeling of like losing out on that connection, and then things also mellowing out here. But like it's just important, like it could be anything. If it wasn't a relationship, there could have been something else going on, and it's like you've got all these different highs and lows.
Your car breaks down.
It's like almost like there's an individual little timeline for all these different things going on. Like you've got the individual high and low from moving here, you got the highs and low of like the relationship, it could be anything else going on, right? The new job, like new people you're meeting, and they're all kind of like balanced out. Your emotional gauge is kind of reading all these things at the same time, and like you're having to interpret it. So it's like, I guess, kind of keeping an awareness of where you're at with these things and where it's all headed, and keeping yourself grounded and being able to like here now, you're here, like you stepped back, and like I think
staying mindful and grounded in where you are, and not getting too invested in the emotional reaction you have within yourself during any event.
Right, because you're here now, and like we've talked about this and kind of like processed to where, like you said, you were feeling down the last week kind of, but like that, like having that awareness kind of now, you can kind of like ground yourself a little bit and remember like, hey, yeah, I'm here, these changes have come about, like I have to accept life kind of like being normal now here. Like, I mean, like the places I go, my job, everything, it's not gonna always be like thrilling, but like maintaining that awareness, I think, like to stay grounded, and the longevity, like the sustained contentness with life, like where you can be, is to think about your long-term goals, think about like the trajectory overall of these different timelines you have going on at the same time, like making new friends, like new hobbies, like new jobs, like
all of this
new potential, to remember there's stuff to look forward to too.
Exactly.
You know?
And all of this is gonna happen so many different times in your life, over and over and over and over and over. And if you allow it to roller coaster you each time, then you're just gonna keep feeling like you're getting thrown around. When in reality, if you just like, if it's something that can be changed, that needs to be changed, then you can change it. If not, then you just kind of have to
accept
sit
things
with it
and like
and
roll
accept
with
it.
it.
And it may take time to accept it. It may take time to change it, but that's really all you can do with anything that the world throws you.
I mean, you just work and adapt to the best of your ability, like with what you got.
And I mean, I'm sure like most of these things, people are probably like, I know that, we all know that already. It's easier said than done, but
it's easy to lose sight. Like it's easy to like get caught up in the motion of just going about life and like kind of lose awareness of these dynamics, you know, like and then you slip into certain places, like you might feel down, and then like I think maintaining that awareness of these things kind of helps you like have that mental control over your mindset.
Exactly.
You know, like so sometimes it can help to hear them. And I think that just thinking about your long-term goals and remember just like that it's a slow burn, you know, like remembering as you go through the transitions in life and you know you make new friends, like you get excited about a new hobby or something new that's going on that's exciting, and then it kind of burns out, like remembering that it was still nice for what it was, and just because the thrill is over, like try to think, like keep awareness of the slow burn that's continually ongoing as you continue your trajectory forward, and think about your future goals. Think about like everything else that you still have going, all the forward moving steps. And I guess that's where you're at right now. Like it is great that you're here.
Because once you get there, you look back and you're like, man, when you're actively in the process of it, it feels like it's moving so slowly, and you're looking to the future, like, when is it gonna happen? I can't wait for it to happen. It feels like it's so far away.
It feels like you're not making any progress.
And now it's here. It's the same as like when you're waiting to go on vacation, and you have it planned weeks or months in advance.
And it feels like it's just never coming.
Yeah, and it's going so slow, and it's like, it's just dragging on. And then you're there, and it feels like you time jumped.
It's like, wow, okay, I'm here. It's great.
Yeah,
I felt like it was never coming, but here we are.
Exactly, and it's really difficult. It's like telling someone at work who's having a slow shift, like, man, you'll be home eventually.
Yeah.
But it's true.
Eventually you make it.
It's honestly true.
And
you have to look at how you're going to feel in the future and the fact that it will get here. You just have to make sure that it gets there. But it'll
stay determined.
Yeah.
That determination is key. And also, like, something I'm thinking is like, you know, like you think about that goal in the future, you finally make it, you're like, okay, wow, I'm finally here. But then you can also look back and think about all the different things that you didn't appreciate the way that maybe you could have, all the other things that happened in the time between then and now where you were waiting for that vacation or whatever to come along. Like all the cool experience, like when you're at work and you're like dreading just wanting to go home. And then at the end of the shift, you get home, it's finally there, and you're like, wow, I really complained so much. Now I'm off work, now I'm home, and I made money from my shift. And then maybe you also had some really great interactions with people that that were actually really fulfilling. And so like, it can really be beneficial to like kind of shift your perspective as you might have this big major goal in sight, like that you're waiting for, but also kind of look at like the steps along the way, all the different things that you might miss, like the experiences and the interactions that you can take a positive perspective on to appreciate, because they're also helping build you up and give you these beneficial, productive experiences and grow and like make new connections along the way, like fulfillment. It's like every little step along the way is still progress and meaningful. So just remember that, like your goals are one step in a long series of steps. It's like maybe one major step that you want to reach eventually, but you're going to keep going after that too. Like life doesn't just stop at that goal, and all the small little steps that lead up to that are just as meaningful. Like they all add up, you know, like even when it feels like you're not making progress. I was going to say this regardless, but it more so because you just moved here. Like you might feel like nothing's going on right now, you're not making any progress, but if you look back a year ago, you've probably gone through so many transitions and changes along that time. And like, especially literally for you, like a year ago, you were in a completely different place. You were about to have that falling out with your ex and like have things end. You went through all of that stuff you're talking about.
Wishing every day that my life was different.
And now here you are in a new city.
Different.
Everything's different. You've transformed yourself. You've worked on yourself so deeply. Like you've like completely changed your life around. Like,
and that's one of those
your
things.
life is entirely different than it was a year ago.
Absolutely.
And you went through so much time doubting things and feeling stressed out and being like, I don't know how I'm gonna get out of this situation.
Because as above, so
And look
below,
at you now.
everything has an equal counterpart, and everything that was negative that happened then, when I was actively in it and thinking, and I'm sure for you and for everybody as well.
Yeah.
There's so many things that when I was actively going through it, I was like, this is terrible. I have nothing good to say about it. But now I can look back and I can go, well, I can.
All right, the fan died, my camera overheated, and we lost it again, but we're back. And you were saying, it's funny because you were watching the video, you just heard whatever she was talking about. Like, I think you were talking about like.
Oh yeah. Here I am.
And go.
And hold on. Okay, so sorry, don't look at me like that.
Okay, man.
I genuinely do remember, but every time I'm about to say it, it doesn't want to
I'm
come
not
out.
here. I'm not here.
Okay. Okay, so it's like I said something about as above. There's a balance.
Yeah, there's a balance in everything. Like there's the negative and the positive.
Yes.
That's what you were saying.
So now it's like you can look at things when you're in it, and you're thinking about, you have nothing good to say. You have nothing but terrible things to say about what is happening at the moment, because truly there is nothing good to say about what's happening at the moment. But when you look back, but when you look back now, I have great things to say about the terrible things that happened, because I'm thankful that they happened for one reason or another.
They shaped you. They helped develop you into who you are, how you got to where you are.
Exactly, in so many different ways. And
those things that work against you, they're challenging you to overcome them. You're learning, and then in the future, it sounds horrible in the moment, like you might be dealing with all these horrible circumstances, like things that you're having to overcome. Mm-hmm. But the benefit, and same with relationship, negative, toxic things in a relationship.
Yep.
In the future, you're gonna have learned from those things and have overcome them in the past, so you can see them coming for one, and you can prepare for them, and you can handle them so much more efficiently in the future.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, I think point being, all the steps that you've gone through, that we're all going through, they all add up to something meaningful. Like, you have gone through a massive, awesome transition and transformation in your life over the last year or so, and everything has vastly changed. I think that you seem like, I'm so proud of you and happy to have seen you come so far, because you seem like you've developed and like grown in a lot of ways, and like just your self development, your personal strength, like your confidence in yourself, like everything, and like.
Thank you. I feel like I have as well.
Yeah, and
it means a lot to me, and it makes me
high five. Hell yeah!
It makes my insides freak out.
I lost the game again.
You can't. Okay, so one of the other rules is that there's a 30-minute interval of.
I was wondering about that.
It doesn't count. So like if you can't stop thinking about it.
I joined the game. I learned about the game a minute ago.
It prevents people
before
from
we started this.
I lost the game. Fuck! I lost the game. Fuck,
I thought about that.
I lost the game.
Because earlier when we were shooting, like, I don't know if you heard me say I lost the game, and you said it, and then I almost said it a few seconds later, but I was like, no, I can't interrupt your point you're making, because it makes sense. You're still thinking about the game.
There's a rule in
you can't do it more than once every.
To prevent you from being stuck in a loop.
Good, but yeah, no, I think it's awesome that you've come so far in this time. I think it goes a lot to show that we're all probably going through period transitions in different ways throughout our life. Maybe not as dramatic and drastic as completely picking up and moving to a whole new city, but you probably have things that are going on that are changing throughout your life that it's just good to keep in mind that the steps you're taking, the things that are going on, are progress, even if it's not anything major. Like, you should try to look around and find something positive to be proud of yourself for, or to give yourself good credit for the things that you're doing on a day-to-day basis that add up to something meaningful, whether it's like getting up and going for a walk, or doing like some kind of light exercise, or just putting yourself out of there, getting out of bed in the morning, period, and like going out your day and just saying
something that you wouldn't normally say to somebody, or
putting yourself outside your comfort zone, or like even just like the small things. If it feels like you have to do the bare minimum to like just uphold your responsibilities, like even if you don't have anything major going on, like you should still give yourself credit for being there, being present, and like putting yourself where you are and getting things done and keeping your life running.
Burnt out for how you feel like your life isn't transitioning, or you're not able to have time to do anything that you want to do because you're working all the time, or you're busy all the time, and you're starting to feel burnt out and tired of it. give yourself credit for
working so hard
and being such a persistent person.
And
just anything.
And give yourself the time to rest, because like it's one thing to have determination and have long-term goals and to work hard and to try to put yourself into overdrive, and there's something to be said for that kind of ethic. It's important. Like, you got to do that sometimes, but you also can easily burn yourself out, and burnout is no joke, because I mean, like, once you get exhausted, like, you're a human being at the end of the day too. You can't deplete yourself. You gotta remember to take some time. Like, don't feel bad to take time for yourself if you do hit that point of feeling overworked and burnt out, because like, you got to let yourself recharge too. You got to have downtime. You got to enjoy life, and you got to have like just moments of peace.
Even the sun has to recharge. It shines 24/7. I guess it never turns off.
That's so deep. That's very deep.
I guess it never turns off.
That's a deep.
But it does go away.
Even the sun has to recharge sometimes. So think about it. No, it's true. I mean, he's got to go to bed. The sun goes to sleep.
It never.
I feel like
realistically, it never stops.
I'm trying to outplay the sun because I never sleep. I'm up all night, and like maybe you can relate. I don't know. The sun goes to bed. I'm staying awake. But even eventually, the sun needs to step up its game. Yeah. Step up, son. But not like the give yourself grace.
You're gonna say, step up, God. I'm doing better than him. He died.
God didn't die. It's Jesus that you're thinking
His
of,
son.
I think. But it's another topic. That's very dark. No, look.
What was the Dark Ages?
There were the Dark Ages that came about because of that. Yeah.
Oh,
we're getting off track. I don't know what we're talking about. But
okay, sorry.
Like, it just give yourself credit for what you're doing. Take time for yourself. Let yourself small victories. Think about the slow burn. Stay grounded. Like ride the highs and appreciate them for what they are. But like, don't let yourself be too overwhelmed and down when things level out. Think about the long-term trajectory. Think about the fact that you got positive motion going forward still. And that's something to take home, like to think about for the rest of your day. Well, we should probably wrap this episode up. Yeah. We've been here for a long time. Hopefully you're still here. Hopefully our rambling hasn't just like completely lost you. If you can resonate or relate to anything that we said that we were talking about, like, jump in the comments and let us know like what your thoughts are. If you had any similar experiences, like if you got any thoughts to add to the conversation, like that's what we want to do here, is create an actual conversation, like make a safe space to talk about things you got going on. Like maybe we can talk about and like respond to your thoughts, like your personal experiences, like try to give some of our thoughts and insight, like maybe we can relate to you, like like I think that's what we really want to do, is make a space to talk about things. And it's not always just going to be about what we're talking about today. I mean, like we want to talk about self-development, like on like social issues that are going on, like everything, like it's a space for conversation. So
if you disagree with us,
feel free to disagree. I mean, that's different perspectives are what make the world beautiful. And that's why we have conversations, like people need to spend more time listening to each other and talking to each other, like, cause it's like, it's just life. We're all out here trying to like have a life, like live our best life, Yeah. And if you are here, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate you. Like, we're going to keep doing this and trying to grow from here. This is our first episode, so we're still putting it all together. We just got our set up today. Super proud of that. Cool? Isn't it nice? Yeah, it's cozy in here. We got all our lights and stuff. We got strand lights, we got neon lights, we got a mushroom light. I think it looks pretty sick. I like it. It's going to evolve. We got a plan to try to flesh out the episode a little bit more. We're gonna start like including a break points in the middle of the episode. I think we're gonna probably put together like a wheel or like some kind of activity to select
immersive or invasive or
something invasive for the video. We're gonna have something to invade the video. Like we're gonna select we're gonna like maybe do a wheel that like helps us select a random activity and do something fun. Like maybe go build a like make some kind of like interesting fun snack or dessert, maybe something holiday themed if it's around a holiday. Or maybe go out and do like some kind of challenge outdoors, play a game, maybe play GeoGuessr or something, just to do like a little short intermission period. And we're gonna try to keep it fun and interesting. Like we're gonna try to add some stuff on there that's kind of out there. Like maybe there will be like a 5% chance to draw like we take a 2-hour road trip and then like we'll probably go film that and then slam it in the middle of the video.
Something to break it up and make it interesting and give your attention span a break for a second.
From just sitting here talking forever.
And also to surprise you and keep it interesting.
Yeah, keep it fun. Like we're gonna maybe go out and like do some other
and
things that are totally just exciting.
Things that we should do.
That's a great idea. I like that. Yeah.
I like that.
If you got an idea for something that we should use for an intermission activity, some kind of fun game or challenge or something to put in the break point, throw that in the comments because we're gonna do it. I'm making that commitment right now.
Well,
I might regret this. Nope. If you say it, then we have to do it.
We might.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Like I think it's a good commitment to have. It's like if you say like, hey, go to New York. Yeah. Don't say that. Like. Go to New York, go to Europe, like say it please. Like you'll probably have to pay for it too, because I can't afford it right now. Yeah, and it might
happen in like 5 years.
Maybe manifestation. But yeah, nah, man. Like we're gonna try to like make this podcast. We're gonna try to put it together and like flesh it out a little bit more. And yeah, thanks for being here. We appreciate your support. Thank you for being here. We love you. Hope you have an awesome day, and we will see you in the next episode. Peace.
Bye.
All right, clip.